This is an interview with Nick Hade of Rahway on Saturday, October 23rd, 2021 by Nick Perkel.
I've been wanting to do the mohawk for a long time, but I had the long hair for like 10 years or whatever, and it's just every time I brought up the mohawk, they're like, "No, don't do it, don't do it." And then I was like, "You know what? They said no, so that means do it."
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah. And now, we did our last show with Puddle and Mud, and it was insane, like people were just coming up to me, they were like bypassing everyone else, and I was just like totally not used to that because usually people walk right by me to go right to Dave, our guitarist. So it's like crazy now that they're all flocking to me, and I'm like, finally getting the recognition I need.
Now, Nick, can you give me an introduction on yourself?
Yep. All right, so here we go. My name is Nick Hade, and I'm the front man of Rahway, Slumlords of New Jersey.
Now, can you tell me about some of the schooling you've had when it comes to vocal coaching and singing techniques that are valuable for yourself as a singer in Rahway?
All right, so I went to Monmouth University and was taught to sing classically by a man named Dr. Tripold, who originally came from Westminster. I also took courses with Ron Frangipani, who wrote that song "Sugar Sugar," and also took songwriting classes with Mark Moeller, the guitarist for Shania Twain. As far as techniques I've learned, I would say the most important technique I picked up along the way is the way that I scream sing. Like I close off my throat just enough that I don't injure myself, but I still get that full effect. But that's not something I could really teach to someone else. Like that was pretty much all experience there.
Now, how does your experience being an Eagle Scout change your viewpoint on how to go about your time as an active recording and touring artist?
It's actually kind of funny because like my experience as as an Eagle Scout kind of acts as a check to myself. I get real crazy sometimes, but I always know where the line is because of where I came from. So like doing all the Eagle Scout stuff, being trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, all that stuff. It's like, in my mind, there's like this level of respect I generally have for people, and I always give respect to people before I expect it back. Because I know that if I give them respect, I know they already have it and they could give it back. But I mean, I do get really crazy sometimes, especially on stage or after a show, like once I get off stage, there's a lot of people that come up like, yo, let me buy you a beer, yo, hit this bowl, da 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 da. And like I just make sure that I don't get too carried away. That's kind of what being, the Eagle Scout background, kind of does for me.
Now, if you could do a duet with any singer, living or dead, who would you pick and why?
See, that's a tough call for me because it's kind of between Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, and Lil Peep. They all have unique sounds, and I feel a lot of their songs deep. And I've always looked up to Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington since I was little, like since I was a kid. I remember seeing Linkin Park at Summer Sanitarium 2003 with Metallica and all that. I remember seeing Chris Cornell at Monmouth University, and it's just only a few years back, though, I discovered Lil Peep, and people find it funny that I like Peep so much, but his entire style is like a giant middle finger to the music world, and I love that. I just absolutely love that. It's like kind of like the same reason like I like being in Rawway because I mean I could be in a lot of other bands that sound like the stuff you hear on Octane all the time. But Rawway has like this element to it that is it's literally raw. Like we get on stage and I'm like, thank you all for coming out. I'm Nick Hade of the raw way, giving it to you the raw fucking way and all that stuff. And we really are raw, like we're not throwing in like backing sounds. The only time we ever have like a sound playing is like if we come in with an intro, something silly on stage or whatever. But, I mean, we're always down to try new stuff out, but that's kind of our thing since Steven Tyler, kind of named the band.
Now, your singing style really reminds me of early 2000s Josh Todd. Did you do anything special to warm up to record the Slumlords EP?
Nah, we're raw way, man. We do everything raw, dude. There's no warm up. It was pretty much just rehearse the songs in the rehearsal studio. Try some of them live to see what the response was. In case if people don't respond to it, you might as well not record it because if people aren't moving to it, then you kind of and then pretty much schedule with Mike Orlando of Adrenaline Mob to hit the studio and then just go beast mode in the studio.
Now, personally for you, what's more influential, the LA or the Detroit glam scene, or the Swedish sleaze metal scene?
You're asking the wrong member of Rahway that question. I mean, I was raised in the Disturbed Godsmack era, so like the closest I get to probably what you're talking about is like GNR or something, like
Hmm.
I can't even follow what you're asking, you know what I mean? Like I'm just because the guys in Broadway, they were raised in a different era of music than I was. So that's where we don't really I mean, we meet in the middle, but our tastes are different. But that's the thing about Broadway special is that, we see through that, we meet in the middle, and that's how we come up with our music and kind of make this interesting blend.
Now, the song "Only the Strong." It sounds like you wrote that about personal experience. Tell me the story.
So only the strong, it does have some personal experience to it, but I can't really come out and say it's specifically about one person. It's pretty much a song about the reason why people shouldn't talk shit, because there are people that don't run their mouth that will really fuck you up. And you know what? I've met quite a few, and that's why I don't talk shit that I can't back up. So a lot of people are out there nowadays in the music scene, just running their mouths, or they're doing videos with like guns in it and like talking so much shit. And I'm listening to this and I'm like, yo, some of these kids nowadays don't know what they're doing. Like they're gonna get ran up on. And I've heard some stories and seen some IG posts of people actually getting, called out on their shit that they're talking. And it's just it's really crazy because back in the day, like when I was younger, I was always taught like, yo, there's like a code, like it's like you look up to certain tough people because they will they will really fuck you up, like they're not playing, but there's a lot of kids out there that don't like that are like keyboard warriors that are just getting this, I don't know, like weird confidence from somewhere, thinking they can just run around and say what they want to say, like no one's gonna actually call them out. And then, when someone does, it's like, oh my God, let me run to the cops. Let me, oh my God, mom, dad, it's like, yo, like realize what you're saying. That's why I usually just try to keep my mouth shut, and I don't mess with anybody. I've met a lot of people in my lifetime, and I know a lot of people got guns. I know a lot of people do MMA. I mean, I do some martial arts myself. It's like, you don't know. You can never, don't ever underestimate anybody nowadays because you don't know who's going to whoop your ass.
Now, I noticed in recent interviews you speak about a new EP on the horizon, and you jokingly title it Section 8. Can you throw out some of the song titles and tell me a little bit about the more finished songs?
Well, first I'll say I had nothing to do with naming that Section 8. I don't even know if I might even have to talk to him and say, hey, I don't know if that's a good idea. Nowadays people are so crazy, I mean, then again, I mean, we're not really a rich group of people, but I don't really know about that. I try to keep things PC, so I don't, like I said in my last comment, I don't like to talk shit, and I don't know. I'll probably talk to him about that Section 8 kind of title. But as far as the song titles, we got a song called "Drowning." It's gonna be a sick one. We played it out a couple weeks ago in Lancaster at the Ice Nine Kills show. Um, and a couple other places. That seems to get a really, really good response. It's kind of about, I guess it could relate to a lot of people as the song goes in about you feeling like you're the star of your own movie. You thought you were this rock star and everything, but then you realize because you're so like conceited, kind of. I mean, it's different for everybody. You can take what you want from the song when you hear it, but in my mind, when I'm singing this, it's kind of about this person who thought they were the shit. They went through their life thinking they're the star of their own movie, not realizing they're just an extra or a side character, like, and they end up at the end finding out that they're all alone because they were just so arrogant and into themselves. They didn't, share with others and be there for others and be part of a community. So that's Drowning. We got this song called Carry You, where it's pretty much always about that one person, you're always going around and you're always picking up after them, you're always helping them out, and it's kind of like the same shit over and over again. And it's like eventually you kind of get fed up, and it's like, yo, it's like, well, you need me to carry you again, okay, I'll carry you, carry these, like it just you kind of that's kind of what Carry You is about. We got this song called You Ought to Know. It's kind of like a slower ballad. It's kind of in a weird key for me to sing, because like I don't know, it just sits weird. But you know, it's about like all the things that you want to like tell this girl. You know, thing like I don't know. You'll see when that one comes out. I'll let you guys if you know figure out what you want to take away from that song. But then we have I'd say an experimental track called "Cats Away," and it's a dance track. I don't know how to explain it. It's something a lot different than our other tracks. It's pretty much about when the cat's away, the mice will play, you know, and we're gonna get rowdy and just go crazy. It's just you're gonna have to wait until these come out to really form an opinion on your own, though, because I mean, a lot of Rahway's music is based on the listener and how what they take away from it. It's not necessarily just us, you know, kind of saying, "Oh, this song is about this and this song's about that." You know, you take away what you want from it. We don't necessarily write with just one intention in mind. You know.
Now, what are your three rarest albums in your music collection?
Hmm. I mean, I've got an original tape of Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction, but that's like pretty much the only rare album, I guess. I mean, you'd have. I don't really know what you mean by like rare. I mean, if you're talking like vinyls and stuff, like I don't have vinyls, but I mean, if you're, you know, that's what do you mean by like what's the rarest album?
I don't know, like some cool stuff in my collection. I got like say the '88 self-titled pressing of Rigor Mortis on Capitol Records, like Japanese vinyl of the '87 Death Angel album, The Ultraviolence. I don't know, just interesting rarities like foreign pressings, things of that nature.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I don't have anything like that. You know, I was never really big on like actually collecting like rare pieces like that. I was just really it was all about the music. Like I always needed music for every like theme and era of my life. You know, if I'm flying down the road, you know, I might have Pennywise on, I might have, you know, Rise Against on, I might have, you know, who knows what on, but like it kind of sets the mood for everything that I've done, you know, whether I was in high school or college or I was at parties or, you know, whatever. Like, you know, I didn't really like, I didn't really actually have much time to sit around and like, you know, like, I just wasn't interested, you know.
Hmm.
I was just always out looking for like excitement and action, you know. But yeah, it is what it is. That's where that's where I'm at now. I'm still looking for the excitement and action, you know, and sometimes I'm bringing it.
Now, what's your most cherished musical possession?
My pedal board. It's either my pedal board or my guitar. I got a MH1000 ESP but yeah, it's pretty much my pedal board. That's my bread and butter right there. You know, when I go to different venues and everything, a lot of times they'll try to give me their mics, or if they have wireless mics or whatever, I'm just like, nope, nope, and nope. You don't want me touching your mic. You don't want me messing with your mic because I'm gonna flip the mic. I'm gonna do crazy stuff with it. If it gets destroyed, don't want to hear it. So I bring my own stuff. I got my Shure wireless set up. I got that running to a compressor. So if I get too loud, it brings me down. If I'm trying to whisper something, makes it loud enough for you to hear. And then I have that go to anti-feedback, so I can run around the stage. I can flip my mic and all that, and it's not going to point at a speaker and cause like some crazy noise to come at the listeners in the audience. So that's why I think ahead, because I care about the people that listen to my music, or my band's music. So I obviously want to give them a good show, and I want to make it something more than just like a lot of people you'll go to their shows and you'll see it's like as if you're just playing the CD, like they're like so on point with their music, but like it doesn't feel like a show, it just feels like someone playing a CD loud as hell at a venue, I like to do weird stuff, like I might be like on the very edge of the stage about to fall off and stuff, but and like just pull it back. People are like, oh shit, is he gonna fall? Or like I'll just start headbanging, do whatever, but the thing that helps me do that is like having this pedal board and knowing that my sound has already been dialed in, before it even hits, the board, the mixer, it's kind of like that's like extra confidence for me as well. Knowing that, I mean, I don't really put a lot of effects on because the guys that are mixing the sound, they usually have an issue with that, and every place is different. So, but as far as having like, my compression and knowing that I can flip this mic, and if I bust it, it's mine. I don't have to worry about paying somebody back or worrying about somebody else's, equipment. that's something that gives me like a little piece of confidence when I'm actually performing. Aside from like, obviously we have like a road crew, Terry, Tim, all these guys, Riv, they're like like extended members of Rahway, and like it's just the pedal board definitely is probably one of my most prized musical possessions.
Your favorite urban legend or ghost story from the tri-state area?
I'd probably say back when I was younger, when I was doing the whole scouting thing, we went camping at Gettysburg, and there were some weird things that happened. One of the scout troops or whatever, they had been walking somewhere, and there was like this guy who looked like one of the Civil War reenactment guys, and he's walking the line, and he looks to one of the kids. He's like, "Yo, hold." He's like, "Can you hold this? I gotta fix something real quick." So he puts something in this kid's hand, and the kid looks at it, and then he looks back, and the guy's gone. And they dated. Apparently, what they put in his hand was like these old school muskets, like the balls and everything, and they dated all the way back to that time period. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Then I heard another story that the kids were playing hide and seek in Devil's Den. And somebody found a skull, and I was like, all right, that's crazy. But what personally happened to me is when I was camping there at nighttime, we went out to the field. There was like about 30 of us, 30 of the kids. We all snuck out. I mean, come on, like we just left the parents behind, and everything. We just like snuck out late as hell at night, and we went out to the field. And as we started to walk up to the field, we saw like the hill. All of a sudden, on like you could see on the top of the hill these silhouettes, the horses and cannons and all sorts of stuff. There was so many that there's no way that they had that many people able to like show up that early in the morning and do this reenactment stuff. It's not like somebody was waiting around for us to like come and check it out. Like it was crazy, and they all started running at us like this giant silhouette patch. Maybe it was group hysteria or something, but we ran back. We got the parents, and like, oh, you got to see this. We just got chased by horses and guys and all sorts of stuff. All that shit, and so parents came back, but by then there wasn't anything left. But like seeing that and knowing that all the other kids saw the same shit we were seeing, we're like, yo, this is crazy. But yeah, that's kind of the closest I got to that one.
Now, would you like to go back to any questions?
Mm, Not really. Nah, nah. I think I'm good.
Final words.
Final words? Well, I'd say my final words are for everybody listening. I just want to say thank you all for checking out this interview. I'm Nick Hade of Rahway, giving it to you the raw fucking way.
Thank you. This has been an interview with Nick Hade of Rahway on Saturday, October 23rd, 2021 by Nick Perkel.